This one says Kelly took out a mortgage loan for $350,000 at 3% yearly interest. How much will the loan be after 3 years? So how much will her loan be after 3 years? It was originally $350,000. And I know yearly interest means to add. Remember, when we pay interest, you pay more. There's actually a couple different ways we can solve this. I'm going to show you two. One way would be to take that $350,000 and I'm going to multiply it times that 3% interest. So remember, 3% in decimal form is 0.03. Go ahead and multiply these together. So 350,000 should get 10,500. So that's her interest for 1 year. Well, actually, so let me add this to, that's her interest for 1 year. I'm going to go ahead and add that to her original loan. This is going to let me know how much her loan is now. So we're saying this as if she's not making monthly payments. So if this were a more realistic situation, her loan wouldn't necessarily be this large because she's going to be making monthly payments. But for this question, let's just assume she took out this loan and isn't making any payments on it whatsoever, and it's just gaining a bunch of interest. So this was how much her loan would be after the first year. So this is like year 1. We could technically call this year 0 or our initial value. Year 0, technically. Okay, and they want to know how much her loan will be after 3 years, so we're going to go ahead and just repeat this process. But when we take that 3% interest, we have to do it to the most recent loan amount, not to the $350,000. So I'm going to take her loan amount after the first year, which was $360,500. I'm going to go ahead and multiply that times that 3% again and just repeat that same process of adding it to the loan amount. When you multiply those together, you do get $10,815. So that's her interest for the second year. So then we have to add that to her total loan, $360,500 plus, and we're going to add that $10,815. 371,315. Let me go ahead and check my math real quick. Plus 10,815. Yeah, 371,315. Cool. And this would be her loan amount for the second year. And then we just keep this process going. You could have also, so let's see. So this was her initial value was 350,000. And then she gained 3% interest, which we showed here. So then after her first year, her new loan amount was 360,500. And then she let interest gain on that again. So we got 3% interest of that 360,000, added that. And this was her loan amount for the second year. We're going to go ahead and do this one more time for the third year. So I'm going to take the 371,315, multiply it times the 3% again. You could have also multiplied times 1.03. If you would have multiplied by this the whole time, you're saving yourself that addition step. Okay? But I wanted to do it this way just because I think this is the way a lot of you guys are going to do it. Or maybe not. 9.45. Okay, so we multiplied those together, got 11,139. Going to go ahead and add that to her loan balance. 315 plus, when we add those together, we do get $382,454.45. So this is her total loan amount after 3 years. Year 0, year 1, year 2, and year 3. Like I was saying when I kind of had my little tangent over here, you could have just kept multiplying by 1.03 and you would have ended up with each of these answers right away without having to add. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys another shortcut really quick. Let me delete all this. What you could have also done, and this is actually the shortest way, is so you say, okay, 3% interest. I know 3% is 0.03. I know interest is that add, so you have to add 1. That gets you 1.03. You could just keep multiplying like this. That's a shortcut. Or you could just say, okay, take that initial value, 350,000, multiply it times this interest rate, 1.03, and you raise it to however many years or months, if we're talking months. You raise it to your time, which is usually your x. So how much will the loan be after 3 years? We're going to raise this to the third power. So then when you have this, what you want to do is you want to do 103 or 1.03 to the third power. You could do that in your calculator. 1.03 to the third power is 1.09 2727, but I'm gonna leave it there. And then we can just multiply that times that 350,000. And we get 382,454.45, which is what we got after all of those steps. So if you could remember this shortcut, you'll save yourself a lot of room here. This is actually also models. Let me highlight it for you. This models our exponential functions. So the next problem, we're going to talk about how to write exponential equations, and it follows this model here, where we have y equals your initial value, which in our case, it was that 350,000, times 1, and it's either plus or minus the percent. The plus or minus depends, are we talking interest or are we talking taxes? And then you raise it to your x power, where remember, x is usually a time. Okay, but we will explore this more in the next problem.